All right, guys. So I literally just had an amazing meeting with the client, and it went over. And that happens a lot of times because I love what I do. And so I went through this scenario with her, and I want to go over it with you guys because I thought it would be so helpful for more people to be able to see just how easily you could be retired in 5 years. So it was like very impromptu, but I just went over it with my client. This is how fast you can be, completely working for yourself or nobody. Like, that's crazy, right? All right, so I have a few notes. I'm gonna make sure that I don't include any of her numbers, but just the numbers that we did from these scenarios. So, if you know me, you know I love real estate. I swear I have a love affair with it. Don't tell my husband. But I really love real estate. It's so awesome. It's the greatest way to build wealth to me. And so we had looked at some properties together. This was literally just so I could give her a quick example of how quickly she could retire because she wants to retire early. She does not want to keep working the way that she does. And so I feel like a lot of us can relate. So nonetheless, let's just go over a scenario of you want to be able to live life on your own terms. And I'm going to show you how for $2,000 a month, you can live life on your own terms and be completely self-sufficient within 5 years. Okay? So in this scenario, we were talking about getting a fourplex. That is the most units you can get right now with the FHA loan. So the fourplex that we looked at currently costs $525,000. All right. Now with this scenario, that's a lot of money. It's over $500,000, correct? Now this client that I was dealing with is single, so they are not like me. You know, I got 4 kids, one for every season, and we are not able to fully utilize this except for under special circumstances or a very specific type of fourplex. And also for my husband not to want to get rid of me because he's like, I don't want to live in an apartment. Hey, look, you make sacrifices for what you want. I'm willing to live in an apartment again so that I can get to where I want to be. So if you don't have a spouse that's like, no, thank you, and you're able to make these decisions yourself and you're willing to make the sacrifice, this is just how fast this can happen for you. So in this scenario, the property costs $525,000. Now, if you get an FHA loan, last time I checked, it was 5% down. So me and that's what my mortgage loan officer tells me, that it's 5% down when you get it with the FHA. So let me show you the 2 different scenarios. If you are an investor, your down payment is $105,000. Okay, but I told you how you're going to be able to do this for only $2,000 a month, right? So if you're an investor, your down payment for this property will be $105,000. This is an 8-bedroom, 8-bathroom property. Okay. If you are someone that is willing to live in one of your units, so now you're a home buyer, and your first property is going to be a fourplex. Instead of you putting 20% down, you only have to put down 5%. And now your amount down is $26,250. All right, so we just cut this number down by 75% simply by saying we're willing to live in one of the units. See why I told y'all my husband tripping? So I'm willing to go live in an apartment to save about $80,000. Okay? and to get a lower interest rate that is set in stone for the next 30 years instead of having an adjustable rate mortgage that may change every 5 to 10 years. 5 years ago, the interest rate looked completely different than they do now. They have more than doubled since 5 years ago. So I want to have a steady mortgage so that I don't have to be an investor trying to sell my property because I just simply cannot afford the mortgage anymore because the interest rates have doubled, which would then make my mortgage payment potentially double or just increase substantially where it doesn't make sense for me to own this property anymore. So I just need you to be able to look at that, right? So now in this scenario, for this property, the mortgage is estimated, we're doing quick numbers here, guys, at $3,221 a month. This is your mortgage. That is the only bill that you have to care about for that property. This mortgage includes principal and interest, so that's you paying on the loan. That's the paying back what you borrowed plus the interest that you're paying for borrowing that money, right? It also includes your taxes, your property taxes on that home. So here in the state of Virginia, we got property taxes, guys. If you live in a state that doesn't have that, then you just saved even more money on this mortgage, on this bottom number, right? Then we have insurance that's included in there as well, which is still fairly affordable here in Virginia. If you live somewhere like Florida, I'm sorry. California, I'm sorry. These numbers are not going to work for you, and you probably can't even find a fourplex for this amount. But this is just literally what's going on in my backyard right here in Virginia. And so you do not have to live in Virginia to work with me, but I'm just giving you a scenario that I was able to go over with a client today. We met one-on-one, just went over this, and I was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I have to show other people. So when this being your mortgage, now we need to look at, okay, well, how much money can I bring in from this property? So all we did was we looked up how much are people paying for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment right now. And we went with the lowest number, guys. The lowest that they're going is $1,300 a month inside of this city. So where this is located, the lowest property that is not income restricted for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath or 2-bath is $1,300 a month. Okay, so let's just say that's all you can receive from it. If that's the case, you'll have $5,200 a month. Let's say for craps and giggles, you added $5.25 to everyone's rent so that we are dealing with clean numbers still, right? So let's say you charge them $1,305.25. Something weird. This is really just for me to get the clean number I want at the bottom, which is $2,000. So now this $2,000 is cash flow. That's passive income. That's money, or it could be active, depending. But this is $2,000 a month that you get. You ain't gotta work that hard. They just want to live somewhere. You put in all the work in purchasing it. You maybe get a property manager. That cuts into your profits. Usually it's like 10%, $200. So now you're at $1,800. Or you factor it in, and everybody pays an extra $50 a month. Okay, so you have this now where you're bringing home $2,000 per month. But Bree, how do I get to here? Well, first, you have to save this amount. So I asked my client, I said, okay, what are you willing to do? $26,250. If you want to just change your world in 1 year, you divide that by 12, you get $2,187.50. Me being me, I'm going to tell you to save $2,500 a month. Why? There's other things that you have to pay besides the down payment. You have to make sure that you may have to pay some realtor fees. You don't know if it's going to be a seller's or a buyer's market at the time. You have to be able to pay for your appraisal. You have to be able to pay for your inspection. And there just may be other things that just may pop up that you got to pay for. And so I would probably up this at least another $300 a month, which would give you another $3,600 at closing to handle additional closing costs. But you may want to even go up higher than that. I would always, you know, these are numbers just for craps and giggles. Like if I was to put on my accountant hat and go real deep, maybe we need an extra $5,000 to $7,000 after talking to mortgage loan officers and people of that sort and just getting all of these numbers, right? But just bare bones, if you start saving an extra $2,200 a month, you have enough for the down payment. You're up at the $2,500, you can probably be able to handle closing costs. Maybe you go up a little bit more, but either way, and who said that you had to pay that much? Maybe y'all settle at it being $500,000. That now decreases how much you have to pay as far as your down payment goes. It decreases how much you have to pay. Like this, it takes $1,250 off that number, right? It's only $25,000 that you have as a down payment instead of $26,250. It will decrease closing costs, realtor costs, all of those things. So you also, this is like no negotiation. This is giving them exactly what they asked for, bare bones, right? So I just have to give these disclaimers. But you could literally change your life with $2,200 a month. You can change your life in $2,200 a month. Let me show you the other part that I showed her. So we have this number, right? So I'm gonna bring you guys along with me over here. Work with me, okay? So now we're gonna take those numbers that we had just came up with over there, and we're gonna do multiplication. Why? Because I said we're multiplying, God, amen. And so we wanna be able to say, okay, not only am I gonna be able to bring in this much, or, you know, I'm gonna say this much to be able to bring in the $2,000 extra a month, I need to get to a place where I can afford to leave this job forever, right? So we took the 5221 or the 5200 that we started with, and we just multiplied it by 5 because we said we're going to repeat this process every year. Instead of us putting that $2,000 that we just got a month now in cash flow, we're going to save it, and that's going to be our new down payment. Let's just say that we're just rinse, washing, repeating this cycle for 5 years, every 12 months. So now your rent will be $31,200. And this is with us saying, let's times it by 5. And I think I gave it a 20% increase as well. I don't know if I did that in this one or not yet. Yeah, and that's with a 20% increase. So times by 5 and then times 1.2 so that you add 20% to it. You're now, and we're saying that rent, because it only goes up, baby. It only goes up. So let's just say it's up by 20% in 5 years. You're at $31,200 coming in monthly. Okay? Monthly for your properties. Your mortgage, however, is fixed. Because every year you move into a new one. So now you have $14,000. Now this is saying interest rates remain the same, but I did increase it by 5%. $289.75. So I took our numbers that we simply had over here, have the tracking off, so sorry guys. But the numbers that we had over here and with the rent and the mortgage, I times this by 5 and added 20%. And I times this by 5 and added 5% for the increase in like insurance or taxes, those miscellaneous things. And with that, we were able to get these numbers where now we have $31,200 coming in as our rental income. See, some of y'all are paying rent. I'm taking you from paying rent to receiving rent. and then mortgage. No utilities included, nothing. Now, mind you, this is bare bones. This is just saying, I want to make this livable, comfortable, not glamorous, but just this is a nice livable home that is safe for my tenants to live in. But if you bring it up a level to something that you would love to live in, that rental price can increase by way more than 20% within those 5 years. And yes, you may have, and maybe this increases as well. And then don't get into cash out refinances, because then now you don't even have to save your own money and wait a whole year. You may be able to refinance a house because you've had one for 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and you're just refining that, taking the cash out, and you're using that for your down payment on your next house. And you're able to just quickly multiply and be able to get all of these rental properties to the point where you can afford to put down 20% instead at $105,000 if you want to, or get some buddies or people that want to go in with it with you, like your family members. And now we all just, me and 4 others, we come together and we put the money into the property and we're good to go. This is a great thing to be able to build wealth with your family members, because I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, if me, my siblings, and my mom, with my parents, she's married. So if we were to all go in on a property, between the 2 of us, we already have over $1 million in property values for just our 2 homes. So we're la bougie, okay? But if we were to instead take that money and to go get some properties, now we could be utilizing those to build wealth. And 100 years from now, when my mom passes away, because she's not allowed to leave me anytime soon, then me and my siblings get a step up in basis, which means that now our value is at whatever the market rate is for those properties. When she passes away, we get a step up for her percentage that then we inherit. So that also will still help us on, if we were to ever sell the property, to not have as much of a taxable gain, things of that nature. It's just such a great tool to build wealth. And so there's so many different things you can do with it. I've taken up enough of your time, but I wanted to go through this scenario with you at how quickly you could just build wealth by buying 4plexes still in today's time at a decent rate, just saving $2,000 a month. $2,200 a month can change your life. When people go through my course, they were able to start saving $2,000 a month just within like 30 days. They started saving an extra $2,000 a month. Okay? And these are regular people. Okay? This is a regular person that was able to save an extra $2,000 a month. This is blue collar. So I work with people all over that, whether you're blue collar, white collar, whether you're sitting behind a desk like me all the time, or you are using your hands to get the job done. You have money coming in, flowing in. What if you started utilizing it, saving a piece of it for future you and your family, and to build wealth? And you could quickly get to a place where you ain't gotta work nowhere if you don't want to. Okay, my blue collar workers, like your back hurting, your hands are rough, your wife don't want you to touch her with all them calluses you got on you, your feet hurt, you need to go to the chiropractor. You could instead have this coming in every month as a minimum. Ready to change your life? Book a call with me, okay? Book a call with me, because I will take you through how to figure out what your financial plan needs to be so that you can make this or more your reality a month in 5 years.